Welcome back for the third and final installment of the air conditioning system fix in the 2004 Honda Pilot. Alright, so let's get down to business and take care of the buzzing noise under the dash. I did a little research on the Honda Pilot forum and discovered that it was caused by the blend door actuator, which controls the airflow to the vents. As I mentioned in a previous video, I'd experienced the same issue in a 2004 Pontiac Vibe that I was repairing for a relative. To get to the actuator, it's just a matter of removing the panel on the right side of the center console. And there it is. Here's how the actuator and lever are supposed to move. This particular actuator tries really hard, but it's obviously defective. So we're going to go ahead and remove the actuator and take a closer look at it. First, we'll disconnect it. Then we'll slide the plastic clip off the actuator's rod and pull it out of the hole. Next, we'll remove the 3 screws holding the actuator in place with the 7mm socket. Alright, so we have the actuator on the bench and we're going to open it up and take a closer look at it. You may want to mark the positioning of the rod also. There are several clips that need to be carefully lifted so that the cover can be removed. I didn't successfully lift those clips and ended up breaking them. Inside, we see that there are several gears and a motor. We're going to disassemble it and see what we find. I've read that removing the old grease and adding dielectric grease has worked, but I found a couple issues with this actuator that render that solution ineffective. First, the motor shaft doesn't extend correctly, so the motor would have to be replaced. When comparing the large gear traces in this actuator and an actuator I picked up at the salvage yard, you can see that the original actuator's traces are significantly worn, so this large gear would have to be replaced also. So you can see how it's reassembled. We'll go ahead and clean this one up, then put it back together. So we're just going to install one of the actuators I picked up at the salvage yard and move on. Basically, we'll reverse the process. First, we'll install the actuator's 3 screws with the 7mm socket. We'll then insert the end of the rod in the hole and slip the clip onto the rod. Next, we'll reconnect the actuator. As a reminder, this is how the actuator mechanism should function when modes are changed on the climate control system. One additional thing to look out for that I read on the Honda Pilot forum is that if the blue cable is not moving correctly, this screw may need to be tightened. I've got the car running now, so we'll turn on the AC and check for cool air at the vents. Once again, the outside temperature on this day is in the mid to upper 70s. The temp at the vents is less than 50 degrees, so it appears that the AC is finally working correctly. It's also a good idea to verify that warm air flows out the vents when the heater is turned on. To finish this up, we need to reinstall the glove box. We'll install the metal crossbar with the 2 bolts that require an 8mm socket and the 2 screws that require a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Next, we'll latch the glove box shut and install the 2 bolts underneath with an 8mm socket. Then we'll install the 2 stops. The kick panel gets installed by lifting the sill and clipping the panel in place. The black clip gets reinstalled in the corner under the dash. Lastly, we'll reinstall the console panel, and that's it. Alright, so there you have it. There's fixing the 2004 Honda Pilot's air conditioning system. So it was mainly caused by that blend air actuator. That issue that we had with the buzzing noise going under the dash was a really good indicator that that's where it was coming from. That was the main cause of our problems. So we got it all addressed, recharged the system, and it's been nice and cold. Now the one thing I am going to have to watch out for is that the pressure was a little lower than I would have expected. So if it does leak down, I'm going to have the system evacuated professionally. Then I'll have to find that leak, fix the leak, and then recharge the system. So hopefully this information was helpful, and thanks for watching.